You fall asleep fine. So why does your body drag you back to the surface at 2 a.m. like something pulled a wire? It's not stress. It's not aging. In 19 years of sleep medicine, I have never once seen this pattern explained correctly in a primary care office. Tonight I'm going to explain it and show you the specific thing sitting in most people's homes that is silently destroying the second half of their sleep every single night. Most people assume if they can fall asleep, their sleep is fine. That's the part that makes this particular problem so easy to miss and so easy to dismiss. You're not lying awake at midnight unable to drift off. You're not fighting to fall asleep. You close your eyes, you sleep, and somewhere between 1 and 3 in the morning, you're wide awake. Heart slightly elevated. Mind already moving. Eyes open in the dark. And every morning you tell yourself, I just didn't sleep well. Probably stress. I want to tell you about a patient I saw some years ago. Woman, 47, healthy by every standard measure. No anxiety disorder. No depression diagnosis. Didn't smoke, exercised, ate reasonably well. She'd been waking at 2 a.m. for almost 2 years. Her primary care doctor had run panels, found nothing, told her it was probably perimenopause stress, suggested she try mindfulness. She came to my clinic frustrated and exhausted. I asked her one question before we ran a single test. I asked, "What do you do in the evenings?" She described her routine. Dinner around 7. A glass or two of wine to unwind. Bed around 10:30. Asleep within minutes, always. Then wide awake at 2 a.m. every single time. I told her to stop the wine for 1 week and call me. On day 4, she slept through the night. On day 7, she cried on the phone. 2 years. 2 years of exhaustion. 2 years of being told it was her hormones, her stress, her mindset. And the answer was the glass of wine she believed was helping her sleep. That story is not rare. It is, in my clinical experience, one of the most common misunderstood patterns in sleep medicine. And understanding why it happens, the actual biology, changes everything. Because once you see the mechanism, you cannot unsee it. Here's what alcohol actually does to your sleep, and why the timing matters so much. When you drink in the evening, alcohol enters your bloodstream and acts as a sedative. It suppresses neural activity. It helps you fall asleep faster, sometimes even deeper than usual in the first few hours. This part is real. Your brain genuinely registers something that feels like good sleep in the first half of the night. But alcohol is metabolized by your liver at roughly 1 standard drink per hour. By 1 a.m., 2 a.m., it's cleared. And when it clears, your brain demands what it was denied in the first half of the night. REM sleep. The dreaming stage. The emotionally restorative stage. Your brain didn't get its REM while the alcohol was suppressing it, and now it rebounds hard into light, active, unstable sleep. On top of that, alcohol's primary breakdown product, a compound called acetaldehyde, is a stimulant. It accumulates as the alcohol metabolizes. By 2 a.m., you have 2 things hitting simultaneously: the REM rebound pulling you into unstable sleep, and acetaldehyde actively triggering arousal. You wake up fully, and you have no idea why, because you only had wine at dinner 4 hours ago. A meta-analysis of 27 independent studies confirmed this pattern holds at every alcohol dose level tested, including low doses. 2 glasses, even 1. The timing gap between drinking and waking is the diagnostic trick. It's long enough that almost nobody connects them. The experiment I gave that patient, I'll give you now. 7 consecutive nights, no alcohol. Keep a note on your phone, what time you woke up, whether you returned to sleep. Compare it to the week before. If the 2 a.m. waking disappears or significantly shortens, you've found your cause. If you want to continue drinking socially, the research-backed window is at minimum 3 to 4 hours before bed, meaning for a 10 p.m. bedtime, you stop at 6 p.m., not 9. Now, that's the most common cause. But it's not the only one. Because some of you watching this don't drink. Or you've already stopped, and the 2 a.m. waking persists. Which means something else is running underneath it. Here's the one I see most often in that case, and it is genuinely counterintuitive. The people who struggle most with waking at 2 a.m. often the ones trying hardest to fix it. They go to bed earlier. They stay in bed later. They spend 9, sometimes 10 hours in bed to try to recover what they're losing in the night. And every single one of those decisions makes the problem worse. Your brain builds sleep pressure across the day, a neurochemical called adenosine that accumulates the longer you're awake. By 15 or 16 hours of wakefulness, the pressure is enormous. Your body will sleep. But sleep pressure is a fixed quantity. If your body generates 6.5 hours of genuine consolidated sleep, and you spend 9 hours in bed, that sleep gets diluted across the entire window. The pressure dissipates completely by 2 a.m., and the remaining hours are spent in fragmented, shallow sleep that the brain keeps breaking out of. Think of it like a 6-gallon bucket. You can pour 8 gallons into it, but it won't hold more than 6. The overflow doesn't become sleep. It becomes wakefulness. The fix is the hardest thing I ask patients to do, because it feels wrong before it feels right. Pick a fixed time to wake up, the same time every day, including weekends. Build your bedtime backwards from that based on how much sleep you actually get, not how much time you spend in bed. For most people in this pattern, that means a later bedtime than they used to, initially. The first 3 to 5 days are uncomfortable. Sleep pressure builds. And then, in most patients, the night consolidates. The 2 a.m. gap closes. There's a third mechanism. This one is invisible. You cannot feel it happening, and it is one of the most important things I can tell you about the second half of sleep specifically. Your core body temperature reaches its lowest point between 2 and 4 in the morning. That window is the thermal floor of your sleep cycle. To stay asleep across it, your body needs to maintain that low temperature. If something disrupts the thermal environment during that window, you surface. Every time. And the thing disrupting it, for a significant number of people, is the bedroom itself. Most bedrooms in the evening are too warm, above 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The body cannot maintain its thermal floor against an environment that's fighting it. It's like trying to keep ice from melting in a warm room. The system keeps working, keeps surfacing. 65 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the clinically supported target for the sleeping environment. Counterintuitively, socks help. Vasodilation in your extremities draws heat away from your core, which paradoxically lowers core temperature. A fan for $30 drops effective temperature by 3 to 5 degrees. For women in their 40s and 50s, I want to say something specific here, because this mechanism is running on top of something else in your case. Hot flashes are not just uncomfortable. They are sudden, significant spikes in core body temperature. They happen preferentially in the second half of the night, during the exact vulnerability window we just described. The 2 a.m. waking in perimenopause is often thermal, not psychological, not hormonal in the abstract sense. It is your body's thermoregulation being overwhelmed during the coldest part of the sleep cycle. The thermal fix matters more in your case, not less. I want to be direct with you now. Not as someone making a video. As a doctor. What stays with me from 19 years in sleep medicine is not the complicated cases. It's the straightforward ones that took too long. The ones where the answer was already there, sitting quietly in the history, and nobody had asked the right question yet. The woman I described at the beginning had been to 3 doctors in 2 years. She'd had blood work, a thyroid panel, a referral to a therapist. Nobody asked what she drank in the evenings. I've seen that pattern many times. Not because the doctors were careless. Because sleep maintenance insomnia, the specific problem of waking in the second half of the night, is genuinely undertreated and underunderstood in primary care. It gets lumped with all insomnia, handed a sleep hygiene pamphlet or a prescription, and sent home. The causes we've talked about tonight, the alcohol rebound, the time in bed mismatch, the thermal disruption, none of them show up on a standard panel. None of them get asked about in a routine visit. You can leave this video with 3 specific things to bring to your next appointment, or to try this week on your own. First, the 7-night alcohol experiment, even if you're a light drinker. The temporal gap between drinking and waking is long enough that most people have genuinely never tested it. Test it. 7 nights. Second, if you're spending more than 8 hours in bed but feel like you're barely sleeping, stop trying to recover through time. Fix awake time. Keep it. Build sleep pressure back to where it needs to be. This is the mechanism. It takes a week to feel it working. Third, tonight, set your bedroom to 65 or 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Check the thermostat before you get into bed. This is the one change that in my experience produces the fastest feedback. Some patients notice it the first night. One more thing, and I don't want you to miss it. If you wake at 2 a.m. with a specific emotional quality, not a racing mind, not a wired feeling, but a quiet heaviness, a dread you can't name, a mood that's at its worst in those first moments of consciousness, That pattern is distinct, and it warrants a different conversation. Not with a sleep specialist. With your primary care doctor. Early morning awakening with that specific emotional quality is a recognized marker for depression, often appearing weeks before mood symptoms become obvious. If that description fits you, please bring it to your physician. Tell them the time you wake up and the quality of how it feels. Those two details change the clinical picture entirely. Your body is not randomly waking you up. It doesn't do random things. There is a cause, a specific biological cause, and in most people waking at 2 a.m., it is one of the things we talked about tonight. The alcohol that cleared 4 hours after you drank it. The sleep window stretched beyond what your body can fill. The bedroom that's too warm during the most thermally vulnerable hours of your sleep cycle. The answer has been there. You just needed someone to tell you where to look. Everything I've shared is general information based on current sleep research and clinical experience. It is not a substitute for medical evaluation. If you snore loudly, stop breathing during sleep, or feel excessively sleepy during the day despite adequate hours in bed, please see a sleep specialist. These are signs of obstructive sleep apnea, which affects an estimated 39 million Americans and remains undiagnosed in the vast majority. Behavioral protocols will not resolve sleep apnea. It requires specific evaluation. Your doctor needs to know.